Hello everyone, this is Ajay Verma before you, and I welcome you all in this session which is going to talk about the importance of NCRTs in the civil services examination preparation, and also I'll be discussing about the book list of Indian polity NCRTs. Additionally, you will be getting a lot of information about why NCRTs should be considered in order to prepare, in order to start with the preparation of UPSC, and how to read the NCRTs as well as how to make the notes of the important topics from the NCRT books. So once again, I welcome you all. And guys, this is going to be a very informative session for all of you. As you already know that every time, whenever you ask anyone that how should I start preparing for UPSC examination, the first thing everyone suggests will always be that start with the NCRT books, right? Everyone, whether someone is selected, whether you are attending some coaching institute, or whether are you discussing this with any other person who is having experience of the examination, will always be suggesting you that please start your preparation with NCRTs, right? So बच्चों, इस क्लास में हम यही देखेंगे why NCRTs are so important, and if they are so important, how they should be read as well as how the notes should be made out from these NCRT books. So this is Ajay Verma before you, and it is going to be a very helpful session for all of you in order to prepare for the NCRTs. So this session is particularly dedicated to Indian polity NCRTs, but many of the things which I am going to cover will be applicable in a general way to other subjects also, right? Other subject NCRTs will also be something you will be getting idea about how to prepare for. So guys, let's start with it. So first of all, I'm going to discuss the list of NCRT books for Indian polity subject, as this video is particularly dedicated to Indian polity preparation from NCRTs. But later on, in the later half of the session, you will be getting to know about the general strategy through which other subjects can also be prepared. All right. So before beginning with the session, I am presenting before you the list of NCRTs for Indian polity, as well as giving you a brief idea that what you will be learning in a particular NCRT of any particular class. So guys, NCRT books जो होती हैं generally for most of the subjects, they start from class 6th onwards, right? Class 6 से maximum subjects में आपकी NCRT शुरू हो जाती है, and up to 12th we can read multiple kind of NCRTs which will be covering a lot of different topics regarding the subject. All right, कुछ subjects ऐसे होते हैं जिसमें NCRT शायद हर क्लास की important नहीं हो. Maybe in some subjects you don't have to refer to NCRTs of all the subjects, and maybe just like talking about economics, the NCRT will be starting from class 9th only, right? But for Indian polity, you will see the beginning from the 6th class only. The first book which you should be referring comes from the 6th standard, 6th class. The name of that book is Social and Political Life. Social and Political Life. So guys, as you gradually proceed to the higher classes, you will come to know that NCRTs are being designed progressively, and they start from a very basic idea. काफी basic idea से आपको preparation के बारे में पता चलता है. You will be learning the basic concepts initially, and gradually the tempo will be made. Eventually you will feel that you already have the basic knowledge in order to prepare for the advanced concepts. So the first book we have to refer is Social and Political Life 1. All right, this is the class 6 book, and in the picture you can also see the front cover of this book. So through reading this book, you will get to know about what is diversity. You already know that India is the country of greatest diversity, right? Whenever we talk about Indian diversity, we can see the diversity in economic senses. There is income diversity also. There is religious diversity also. There is diversity because of languages also. There is regional diversity also, right? So there are many forms of diversities, and India is a very diverse land where you can see a number of religions, number of languages, and various kinds of cultures and festivals also. All right. So what is diversity? This idea you will be getting, and many of the times it happens that because of diversity, discrimination also takes place. Guys, what is discrimination? It means with the differential treatment from one section for another, right? So discrimination क्या होता है ये भी हमें when we will be reading diversity we will come to know. Second is government and democratic government. So why do you need a government? Why do you need a government? Why do you pay taxes, right? What government is doing for you? Do you really need the government or you can do your work by your own? आपको नहीं लगता है कि आप खुद भी कर सकते हो जो आपके लिए गवर्नमेंट कर रही है, राइट? So what is government? Why it is needed? Why do you obey the government? What it is doing for you? That will also be discussed. Additionally, what is a democratic government, right? What is the democratic government? It is mostly about democracy. So later in the classes, we will also be discussing about democracy in the coming books. Then only you will be able to realize what is the exact meaning of democratic government. But for now, you already know that India is a democracy and we have a democratic kind of government. It means that our government is being elected by ourselves and they rule according to our requirements. All right. You will also come to know about Panchayati Raj. So you must already be knowing that India is the only country which has a three-tier government system, right? We have central government, then we have state government, then we have our local self-government also. In the rural areas, for the rural population, it is panchayats. For the urban population, it is municipalities. So what is Panchayati Raj? How the local self-government works? What is Sarpanch? Who are the other members? What is their age requirement? This will also be discussed in the 6th class book only. And additionally, you will also come to know about in the rural and urban areas, what are the forms of livelihoods, how people are managing to earn the income, what kind of economic activities they are performing, as well as what kind of administration, what government machinery is being deployed there in order to do the administration of rural and urban areas in the local level. All right. So this is the basic idea which you will be getting from the first book, which is class 6th, named as Social and Political Life. And I have already told you that we'll be moving further gradually. You will be getting the idea about the bigger concepts later on. So coming to the second book. The second book is Social and Political Life Part 2, right? It is the Part 2. It means that it will be giving you some advanced addition from the previous class 6 book, all right? So it will give you a basic idea about what is equality, right? What is equality? We already know, you will already get to know about diversity and discrimination from class 6. So later on in the class 7th, you will know what is equality and how people struggle for equality. Equality is not something which is easily earned by all the people, but we have been struggling for that, and it is also the aim of the government to bring in the equality to the best possible levels. All right. So the struggle for equality, basic idea will also be given to you through this book. Also, you will get to know role of government in the healthcare sector. So you already know that starting from the beginning only, we talk about the delivery in order to assure the safe delivery facilities. Government has established government hospitals, right? As well as the children gets multiple kind of vaccinations also. You must have already taken the 2-drop polio की दवा भी आप सभी ने पी रखी होगी. So that is also something provided by the vaccination by the government in a free manner. Also, various kind of hospitals and facilities, healthcare facilities are being provided by the government, right? Then you will come to know about working of state government. So, in the central government, you usually hear about prime minister, various kind of ministers, also about parliament, right? That is the machinery which is also followed in the state government level, but it may have different names. So, you will come to know what is or who is the CM, who is the governor, how the MLAs are being elected, and how do they legislate. All these things you will come to know from this section. Then you will come to know about gender justice. So talking about gender, right? We have male as well as female population. And in many of the cases, you must have seen that society becomes male dominated, and because of that, women's generally doesn't have the privileges which are available to males, right? So how the gender justice is important, that is also you will be learning. Beside that, media. What is media? What is the role of media? How the media affects us, as well as the equality, our aptitude, our attitude, as well as what is the role of advertisement. Then, what are the markets around us? How the markets are working? What are the types of markets? And what kind of businesses are going on? This will also be learned through this book. So this is the basic idea which will be provided by the class 7th book of polity, named as Social and Political Life 2. Alright. Coming on the next book, the third book is Social and Political Life 3. This is the part 3, advanced version of whatever you have already been learned from the class 6th and 7th. So this is the class 8th book. This will be referred in the class 8th. Alright. So this will be providing you an idea about Indian Constitution and Parliament. So guys, the actual polity thing will be starting from this book, and you will come to know what is Indian Constitution, when was it made, how it works, and what is the work of Parliament, right? You already must have heard of Parliament. You must have already heard of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. How do they make laws? What kind of voting systems do they follow? This is the basic idea which will be provided through this book in the beginning itself. Then you will come to know about what kind of public facilities are being offered by the government. So just like the healthcare, there are almost all the sectors of your life in which you will be seeing assistance by the government. Whether you are working on a road, whether you are flying from an airport, whether you talk about defense, whether you talk about education, all the services, many kind of services, facilities are being provided by the government. All right. Then you will come to know about secularism, right? So secularism is something related to religion, right? When population of a religion is higher, then it generally becomes a tendency that the population, the religion which is having higher devotees will be getting more of benefits, and other ones can face the discrimination. So no discrimination, right? No discrimination on the basis of religion is known as secularism, right? So you will also come to know what is secularism. Additionally, how the laws works, why do we need the law, what is the role of judiciary enforcing the laws, and what is the criminal justice system of India. You must have already heard of Indian Penal Code, right? What is the role of judiciary, how does it penalizes the offenders of any act. All these things will also be learned. Additionally, what is marginalization? So marginalization means that some of the people, or maybe some sections of the society, are being treated differently, and they are not being a part of a mainstream society. So that is known as marginalization. How it should be fought? Why does the marginalization happens? What are the efforts being made by the government that you should be knowing of? Additionally, you will come to know the role of laws and social justice. So guys, social justice, it means that in the society, everyone should have equal status. They should be treated fair and in an equal manner. There should not be any injustice in the societal ladders. So that is what you will be getting to know from this book. So a lot of things, a lot of basic ideas you should be knowing. Many of the times the students ask that whether we should be reading the books of beginner classes 6th, 7th, 8th or not. But guys, believe me, these are also very important. These are also very important to be read. Why? Because at least you should be having the definitive idea of these things. You should be having your own opinion that what is the exact meaning of these things and why, how do you interpret that. All right. Okay, so coming in the next class, the next is Democratic Politics 1. So guys, this is the book for class 9th. This is the book for class 9th. And as the name suggests, democratic politics. The main idea around which this book will revolve will be democracy. So it is very important for you to know what is democracy, what are the type of democracy, how does the Indian democracy works. So that is the idea you will be getting Very important book it is. Guys, it is a very important book. You should refer it, and you should be having precise idea about democracy also. So this book will be talking about how does the elections happens, how elections helps the democracy to work, what are the various institutions through which democratic politics is being practiced in India, what are the rights. Whenever we talk about democracy, the democracy generally ensures the rights to its people, right? The citizens or the people will enjoy a lot of rights when they are a part of a democracy. So what are the rights which are being enjoyed by the citizens of any democracy? Also India, that will also be the idea given by this book. And also you will come to know the constitutional design, how the Indian constitution is being designed, what all the things it is comprised of will also be discussed through this book. So once again, a very important book. Please refer it, and you will really enjoy getting the idea of the democracy, also the Indian system of democracy. The next book is Democratic Politics Part 2. So this is the advanced version of what you will be reading in the class 9th, and this is the book of class 10th. All right, this is the book of class 10th. So guys, through this book you will come to know how the power sharing works, right? We have central government, then we have state government, right? We also have different kind of parties. We also have different sections of population. So how the power is being shared, the power is being practiced in the democracy, particularly Indian democracy. That will also, you know, what is federalism? What is the meaning of federalism? So you know that in the Indian system of democracy, you are a part of your state as well as you're the part of central government also, right? So the division of power between central government and state government, administering the citizens, providing the public facilities in a distributed manner by central government and state government is known as federalism, which you should be knowing. There are many kind of questions which can be asked directly related to federalism and its practices as well as the problems being faced by the federalism in India. Additionally, you will know the democracy and diversity details, also the gender, religion and caste diversities in India, what are the important political parties, how these political parties work, why are they required, this will also you know, and the outcomes of diversity. So you know that India is a diverse country. Many of the times we preach our diversity, right? It is being praised by the world. But many of the times there are various kind of challenges before it, and many kind of problems also you will see because of the diversity which takes place. So what exactly happens, what are the outcomes of diversity and what challenges does it possess, this will also you will be getting to know from this book. So guys, एक बहुत ही important book है और basic idea, talking about a basic idea बहुत ही ज़्यादा important होती है. If you know all these things from the basic manner, तभी आपको ये पता चलेगा कि how to read the standard books, and your opinion, your basic opinion will also be formulated according to these ideas. All right. So once again, I'm telling you, this is also very important book. You will have to refer this and this will be providing you a deep idea about the constitution as well as the things you will be reading from the standard books later on. Coming to the next book, it is Indian Constitution at Work. So this can be considered sometimes as the most important book. This can be considered as the most important NCERT. So guys, this is the class 11th book. This is the class 11th book, Constitution at Works, right? So this book will tell you about the applicability of Indian Constitution. All right. At work, what is the meaning of at work? It means that how the Constitution is working. What are the practices being generated out of the constitutional conventions and the procedures as established by the Constitution of India, right? So you will come to know once again about the Constitution of India, what are various fundamental rights and duties, how does the elections happen, and how the people are represented at various ladders. Also, we'll come to know about the three main important organs of the state, which are legislature, executive, and judiciary. You will come to know that legislature makes the laws, right? Parliament, state legislature, all these are making laws. So legislature is the organ of state which is making laws. Executive is the organ which is implementing the laws being made by the legislature. And judiciary, what is the role of judiciary? So its primary role is to punish the offenders, but also it keeps a check on legislature as well as executive, whether they are working in the interest of people or not. This will also be checked by the judiciary. आपने कितनी ही बार सुना होगा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सरकार को फटकार लगाई है, राइट? कितनी ही बार we must have already heard of that. Supreme Court has came into some quarrel with the government, or maybe they have given some order to government and government have to follow that. So judiciary have the power considering the interest of the people in order to correct and keep a balance between legislature and executive practices. All right. So this is also you will know. Then we will be talking about federalism and local government. So I have already told you central government draws or central government gives powers to state government gives powers to local self-government. So this is the perfect federalism you will also be getting to know. Additionally, how the constitution is a living document. You know that the constitution is changing. Constitution का purpose क्या है बच्चों? Constitution का purpose is to serve the population of India, right? The citizens of India. And जो citizens होते हैं उनकी needs, उनकी mentalities, उनके जो legal provisions applicability होती है, time to time it changes. The mentality also changes. That is why constitution also requires to be changed time to time. That is why it is a living document. And what is its philosophy? What are the best of ideas which are assured for the Indian people? That is also you will be know from the book. All right. So very important book it is, or simply it is the most important book for Indian polity from NCERTs. Chaliye. Coming to the next book, it is political theory. So guys, it is also very important book. It is also very important book for all of you. Why? Because Indian polity, whenever you talk about Indian polity, this is some practical subject. All right, this is some practical subject. But whenever we talk about political theory, so as the name suggests, you will be learning various kind of theories about politics. Why something works that way, why something is being practically in a manner will be explained through some theories. So it is very interesting book also. I know that most of the students will be having their favorite subject as Indian polity whenever they start preparing for the UPSC. So believe me, this is going to be very important and you will be liking the book a lot. So it will provide you an idea about political theory. How does the politics work? How does the state originated? How the state should be working? What are the right things? What are the standard provisions a state should be following? What should be the duties and roles of the population also? So this will something you will come to know. Also, you will come to know about freedom, equality, rights, and social justice. How does the citizenship work? Why is it important? Why citizenship is important? What kind of special rights some citizens get? What is nationalism? How these are different, right? Citizenship and nationalism, how they are different. And secularism. Earlier, you will be getting the idea how the secularism works in a political system. You will be getting to know from this book. Lastly, you will also come to know about peace and development. So guys, in our country itself, right? Not talking about whole of the world, though there are problems in the world also, but talking about India only. You must have already seen many incidences in which peace is being threatened by some of the people because of the discrimination, because of the diversity, because of the non-secularism, because of not abiding to the nationalism, or maybe having the wrong concept of nationalism also, right? So we will be talking about peace and how the development should go hand in hand for all the people. That is also something you will come to know from this. So believe me, very important book and very interesting also. You will really enjoy learning from this book. All right. Talking about book. So one of the most important book is also Politics in India since Independence. So guys, if you have referred the syllabus of UPSC, I am not telling you just about polity, but even if we talk about history, right? In the mains examination, you will see the history of India since independence also, right? So in the history, the political history of India since independence is also very important. So this book will be serving a dual purpose of completing the portion for polity as well as for history also, right? So very interesting book, combined concept of history as well as polity for you, all of you, especially since independence, right? So you already know the history about India, what recently happened after independence. So how the country was facing various kind of challenges, right? You must already be knowing that the British left us in a very poor condition. The situation was very bad. There were many kind of people who had many kind of requirements, and people had different languages, different roles about the nation also, right? So we wanted to build a nation, and the concept and challenges of nation building will also be discussed from this book, which is very important for all of you to know. Then you will come to know about era of one party dominance. So after independence, you should be knowing that Congress was playing a major role for around 25 years, right? And only one party was dominating throughout India, whether we talk about the state governments or center also. So that was the era of one party dominance. And planned development politics also started. So you already know that India is a planned economy, right? We have been taking the help of planning in order to have the development. So you must have already heard of 5-year plans also. Right now, 5-year plans are not working, right? The planning commission which was there, it has been replaced by Niti Aayog now, right? Which is a think tank which helps the government in order to plan how the resources should be utilized. So that is also you will be knowing. Then we'll be talking about external relations. In that time, you must have already heard of many kind of wars, right? With Pakistan, with China, we came into many kind of wars. Also, how was our relations with the other countries? What were the policies? The basic idea will be given from this book. Then you will come to know challenges and restoration of Congress after Nehru. So after the death of Nehru, this one party dominance kind of ended for some time. There were many challenges, and in the age of Indira and other later senior leaders of Congress, there were many kind of challenges also. So that is also you will come to know. I know you don't have to remember everything about a party or its evolution or its working, but the thing is that the party has played a really very important role, and ultimately it was the party who was playing the role in the history since independence. That is why it is important for you to know. Then you will come to hear about emergency, how the government started to utilize the resources in a bad manner, how the constitutional provisions were breached many of the times, how the people faced various kind of difficulties, because of which we thought that our democracy is in danger. आज भी कितनी ही बार होता है कि लगता है कि डेमोक्रेसी जो है वो खतरे में है, all right? So in that time, the crisis of democratic order, particularly during the time of emergency, ये भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे. Additionally, you will come to know about popular movements, जो किसान मूवमेंट और दूसरे मूवमेंट हुए होंगे उस टाइम पे. That is also you will come to know. And lastly, regional aspirations. Various regions of India, they had various different kind of conception for the development. Also, they had different kind of requirements for the development, right? So what were these regional aspirations which were different, and the recent development which happened in the regions as well as in the Indian political system after independence? That is also something you will come to know through this book. So guys, this is also very important, right? This is also very important book. And the last NCERT we have is from class 12. The name of the book is Contemporary World Politics, right? Contemporary World Politics. So the last book, this book, Politics in India Since Independence, it is also of class 12. It is also of class 12. Many of the time you will see that some classes can have more than one book, right? Some classes can have more than one book. So that is also happening here. So in the 12th standard, you will also come to know about a book which is known as Contemporary World Politics. All right. So when we talk about contemporary world politics in the present times, especially after independence, how the politics was working around the world, how the countries were developing, what was the Cold War, how the US emerged as the most powerful state, how the Russian Federation got dilapidated. All these things you will come to know from this. So this will be talking about Cold War era, right? आपने सुना होगा Cold War. It was mainly between Russia, or by that time it was known as USSR, right? By then it was known as USSR versus USA. So there was a Cold War which covered technology as well as space, as well as many defense also, many kind of sectors it has touched. So you will come to know Cold War era, how does it ended, and end of bipolarity. So guys, after independence, the world was divided between two sides, right? Capitalist countries were led by USA, and the socialist countries were led by USSR. So the world was divided into these two segments. These became two poles of the world, right? Two poles of the world. Many of the countries were inclined towards the USA, and many were inclined towards USSR. India, if you know, India chose to be not to be the side of any of the country. That is why we went for non-alignment movement. I think you must have heard of this also. So India was the country which chose the neutral way through non-alignment movement. But with the time, bipolarity ended, and ultimately the US hegemony got established in the world. How did it happen? That is also you will be getting the basic idea about. Also, we will be talking about other regional blocs, right? For example, we have SAARC. For example, we have ASEAN. For example, we have BRICS. So many kind of regional blocs like European Union also, right? Gulf Council. So these things you will come to know. Additionally, what was the political scenario in South Asia? Talking about our neighbors only. International organizations like United Nations, World Bank, International Monetary Funds, the organs of United Nations. Environment and natural resources, how they are important, and how the globalization happened, what is globalization, and what are the negatives or positives of globalization. That is also you will come to know through this book. So guys, this was the last book of NCERT for all of you. I wanted to tell you. So in total, for Indian polity, you will come to know about 9, right? A total of 9 books you will get to read regarding the Indian polity. Considering any book from class 9, starting from class 9, all the books are very important. I also suggest you to read the books of class 6, 7th and 8th, because they won't be taking a lot of time, and you will really enjoy, you will really feel that you're learning something, and that will also be a kind of motivation to prepare for UPSC. Keeping aside the selection is something different, select hona is something different, but you will feel a sense of knowledge, a sense of privilege from the other people, that you have a better knowledge from others, right? So that is why you should be reading the basic books of class 6, 7 and 8 also. All right. So guys, this was the book list for polity. I hope you can comprehend that there are a lot of things you will be knowing through reading NCERTs. That is why they are very important to know. All right. So now coming to the second part of our lecture. Right now we have completed the list of the books. Now coming to the second section of the lecture, in which we will come to know how to read these NCERTs and why are they important to read. I am going to talk about that now. Okay. So guys, first of all, why NCERTs are important. सारे के सारे लोग जिनसे भी हम पूछते हैं whether we should be reading NCERT books or not, why do all of these people suggest reading the NCERTs? Why are they very important for all of you? That is something I am introducing you here. All right. So a few points I do have here to mention about the importance of NCERT. The first point is that it is a good first step. All right. So you know that the first step is always the hardest, right? But if you have some objective, if you want to do something, then obviously you will require to take the first step any day. So guys, NCERTs are a very good source to start with in the first phase, right? If you are going to prepare for UPSC, it is very good that you should be starting with the NCERTs. You should be starting with the NCERTs, right? Though you already know that syllabus, and previous year paper. These things are the foremost tools you should be having. These are the foremost resources, the first resources you should be having. But I'm talking about the resource content which we will be reading, right? The new content which we will be reading. So NCERT should be the first content you should be reading. Why? Because they have a very simple language, and chapter wise they will be covering very important topics. Just now through this book list we have discussed, only you came to know a lot of words. Democracy, what is democracy? What are rights? What is citizenship? What is nationalism? What is secularism? What is marginalization, right? What is parliament? What is constitution? So chapter wise you will be getting to know a lot of important topics which are surely there in your syllabus, and later on you will read the same from standard book also. But in order to have the basic building of the concept, NCERTs are very important to start with. And lastly, the curriculum is being designed in a progressive manner. बच्चों जो 6th में होता है उससे थोड़ा सा एडवांस रहेगा 7th में, और उससे थोड़ा सा एडवांस रहेगा 8th में, right? So NCERTs are designed considering the age of the student. I'm not talking about you guys, but I'm talking about the children in class 6, 7th or 8th. They will be gradually learning things, right? So that is why NCERTs ensures progressive and easy learning of all the concept. That is why you should be starting from the NCERTs. And I've already told you that obviously there will be a sense of knowledge you will be starting. Also, it will be a process to enjoy from the very beginning. Many of the people start studying, they get bored and they give up very soon. But NCERTs will remove the possibility of giving up. At least you will be having a sense of knowledge, a sense of achievement, a sense of better understanding of the society in comparison to the other people. That is why these are very important as the first step. The second thing is eminent authors. So guys, all of the NCERTs books, believe me, all of the NCERTs books are being written by very prominent authors, very eminent authors who have written various standard books also. So few example are talking about history. R.S. Sharma, Vipin Chandra, Arjun Dev, these people have written these books. That is why they have given you very good insights about the topic. They obviously have the best of knowledge also. That is why they should be relying on. And when later on you will be reading the standard books, these people, when have already provided you idea about their concept from NCERTs, will be helping you in an easy manner to read the standard books also. All right. The next thing is authentic information. So you already know that NCERT is an autonomous organization under Government of India in order to promote the curriculum of school level education. That is why obviously if a government source is telling you some kind of information and you are going for the UPSC examination, which is also the government examination, so it means that the data which is provided by NCERT is always reliable. Why? Because you can always say that it was mentioned in the government resource, right? So NCERT is a government resource, National Council of Educational Research and Training, which is the full form of NCERT. It is the autonomous organization of Government of India, established in 1961, and you have to rely on that. You can always tell that we have referred something from this book and this has been created by the government. That is why UPSC will also be accepting that, right? Also, these are thoroughly researched and time to time they are updated also. So, for example, since 2007, we have been following a different curriculum which was updated from the previous curriculum. So, they also keep on changing according to the requirement of time, because government knows what is changing and NCERT have the better idea that what kind of education should be provided, what should be the curriculum, right? And lastly, it is always good for the basic foundation. So I have already told you that it is good to start and you should be having the basic knowledge from starting from this book. There is easy and generalized approach. Everything will be made simple. Everything will be made simple and in a generalized manner. Guys, if you are preparing for UPSC, you are preparing to become a generalist, right? For example, अगर आप एक SDM बनते हो या एक district magistrate बनते हो, right? You will be a generalist. you should be having a knowledge about history, geography, polity, economy, science also. Some person from village can come to you and he can ask you why rain is not happening this time, right? बारिश क्यों नहीं हो रही है, ये भी आपसे पूछ सकते हैं लोग। तो आपको ज्योग्राफी का भी आइडिया होना जरूरी है। आपसे ये भी पूछ सकते हैं कि सर हमारे एरिया में पानी की कमी क्यों है। You should be knowing that it is a watershed or water-fed area or what, how irrigation is working. You will become a generalist. सब कुछ आपको थोड़ा थोड़ा आना जरूरी है। That is what being taught by the NCERTs from the beginning itself. So basic and generalized approach is very essential for UPSC. You should have the knowledge how to integrate various subjects in a single answer, and you will surely come to know those from NCERTs. They are also very good for building the interest. As I already told you, many of the people give up from the beginning itself, but reading the NCERTs will not be any burden for you, and your interest will gradually develop and you will get prepared in order to study more and more, right? Also, as you know that for clearing any examination, covering the syllabus is very crucial. It is the most important thing. You should always stick to syllabus, but how to stick to syllabus, how to cover the basic thing, it will be done through NCERTs, right? And guys, many of the time it happens that direct questions can also be asked in the examination. Many of the times direct questions are also asked, though indirect questions will be plenty in number, right? Indirect questions will be many in number, but a few direct questions can always be asked. For example, the question we have, with reference to the economic history of medieval India, the term अगर घट्टा refers to, ठीक है, तो ये हिस्ट्री का एक क्वेश्चन है, डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है बच्चों, जो एनसीईआरटी की बुक से एक पूछा गया है, और इस टाइप के आपको बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन देखने को मिलते हैं. सो दिस क्वेश्चन इज अबाउट हिस्ट्री. आई हैव द सेकंड क्वेश्चन व्हिच इज अबाउट पॉलिटी. कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट. इसी टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं यूपीएससी में ज्यादा, राइट? यूपीएससी हैज द हैबिट ऑफ आस्किंग दीस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इन अ ग्रेटर नंबर, considering the statement, choosing the wrong or right statements, right? So these are two statements before you. The minimum age prescribed for any person to be a member of panchayat is 25 years. This is the statement. Second is, a panchayat reconstituted after premature dissolution continues only for the remainder period. So this is something you will come to know when you will be having the idea of 6th and 7th as well as 8th NCERT also. So guys, direct questions can also be a part of your examination many of the times from NCERTs. And believe me, maximum questions will be in indirect nature, and obviously you should be knowing concept in order to solve any question, and the concept you will learn from NCERT, right? So I have included only 2 examples, but there are plenty examples you should be knowing. Talking about the next thing, how to read NCERTs. So guys, how to read NCERTs, this is also something important and also something you should be knowing. So start for any subject, class 6 book, right? Whichever subject you find interesting, whether it is polity, whether it is economy. If you start with the economy, you will have to start from 9th. Whether you talk about history, whether you talk about geography, whichever subject do you like the most, start with it, but start the very beginning book, right? Start with the 6th class book. Then in the first reading, so it is suggested that you should go at least 2 readings, or if the time permits, you can go for 3 readings also, right? So in the first reading itself, try to understand the concepts by reading with due focus. So don't be in any hurry, read slowly and try to understand what something is trying to tell you, what are the examples trying to tell you, and try to relate it with your life. So that is how you should be understanding the concepts, reading with the due focus. Then please, this is very important guys, remember completing the exercise which is there in the end of chapter. I generally suggest you that before starting with any chapter start करने से पहले ही questions पढ़ लो, so that you will come to know what exactly we are searching for, and additionally you will be having a lot of fruitful information in addition to the questions. All right, so I personally suggest to know the questions even before starting to read the book, read the chapter. Then guys, please finish 1 class book, Don't shuffle between the books, right? Finish one class book first, evaluate the time taken, and frame a balanced timeline for all the books, all the subjects also. And later on, when you already have a basic idea that how you're reading, you can also mix two subjects. If you're getting bored from one subject, then you can obviously mix two subjects in order to build a greater interest, right? And later on, when you will be completed with the NCERT, you will have to supplement the standard books through NCERTs also. So this is how you should be reading NCERTs. Keep in mind, very important thing you should be knowing. Guys, now when and how to make notes. So is it essential to make notes? Yes, it is essential. Why? Because बाद में आप कभी भी NCERTs नहीं पढ़ने वाले हो. You will have a many of standard books and you will not be getting the time to read NCERTs. That is why I suggest you that you should be making notes. But how to make notes? So in the first reading, avoid making any notes, right? In the first reading, when you will be knowing the understanding of the basic concept, avoid using or avoid making any kind of notes. In the second reading, you can highlight or underline the important facts and concepts. I'm talking within the book itself, right? In the book itself, you should highlight or underline the important facts and concept whichever is being provided, right? And in order to make notes, I personally suggest that you should be using a spiral notebook. एक spiral copy use करो बच्चों. Why? Because pages को फाड़ना आसान रहेगा. Why sir is telling you to tear the pages? Why? Because guys, ये pages आप बाद में कहीं और adjust कर सकते हो. अपने जो standard books के notes रहेंगे, या तो उन pages को उसमें shift कर सकते हो या फिर books में भी shift कर सकते हो, right? Additionally, whenever you have current affairs or additional information, you can always have the room to add the notes. That is why I will always suggest you to use a spiral notebook. And whenever you feel that there can be something else also related to the same topic, you should always be leaving the empty space for that, right? And please extensively use timelines, chronological flow, whether horizontal or vertical. Talking about history, you can make horizontal lines also, right? In Indus Valley civilization, this year to this year, then in the maybe dynasty period, this year to this year, ये सब आपको horizontal line as well as vertical line. जैसे महात्मा गांधी is a very important person. In 1915 he came into India. Something happened in 1915, then in 16, then in 17, 18. Every year something important. So you can make vertical lines also. When you have to cover a large time frame in a short diagram, you should be using horizontal line. But when you are using a short period of time, for crucial information, you should be going for vertical line, right? Use charts and diagrams also, and many of the times, easily you can make rough notes, just like this. Just like this, you can make rough notes. You can point out the geography as well, history as well, the economic places. And please remember this. Please remember this thing very crucially. You don't have to write the stories. What is the sense? What is the meaning of notes? Notes should be precise, right? Notes should be precise. So please avoid writing any story. Avoid the story at all. Concept जो होते हैं उनको बहुत brief में थोड़ा-थोड़ा आपको लिखना चाहिए. Not whole of the concept is required to be written, but it should be written according to your understanding. And facts which are very important should be written as it is in a precise manner. So please remember this. Avoid writing any stories. Medium kind of concepts can be written. It should be given comparatively lower place, and all the facts should be always be written in your notes. All right. So that is how you will be making the notes. Lastly, answers to a few questions. Many of the students can have a few questions regarding what should be the time frame I should be taking in order to complete the NCERT. Sir, is it necessary that I should be reading the book of 6 also? So here I am giving you some answers. All right. So guys, a time frame of 2 to 3 months maximum should be given to read NCERTs, right? But additionally, it also requires your caliber. If you can read it slowly in the beginning, please improve your time. Whatever time you have available for your examination, decide according to that, but try to cover it within 2 months, and maximum you can take 3 months period, right? So in the market, there are various kind of gists, various kind of short copies of NCERTs are available. Many of the time, students feel that why to read the whole book, we should go with the gist only. So guys, I'm telling you, gist can be referred, but please read the book also so that you can make your own gist, right? With this, you will be getting an idea how to make the notes, also how to write the answers also in a precise manner, how to conceptualize your thinking, how to articulate the facts in a time frame. This will also you will be learning from this. And talking about the beginner classes, I'm telling you there is no harm in covering the 6th, 7th or 8th classes, because any of the 6th class book will be maximum taking 2 hours only. So believe me that in 2 or 3 days only you can cover all of the books of 6th or 7th classes if you are reading with the dedication. So cover that also. And notes should be made, right? Notes should be made. Many of the time student ask that, sir, is it necessary to make notes? Please make that, because later on you will not be looking in the NCERTs at all. You will just be referring the standard books. That is why you should be making notes, right? In the history subject, talking about the history subject, there is the concept of old versus new NCERTs. So guys, if you have the time, please try referring the old syllabus NCERTs of history. In the class 11th and 12th, you will be having ancient, medieval and modern history books. Please read that also. In the other subjects, there is no tantrum as such as for old or new books. And lastly, guys, which subject to begin with, where to begin with, which day to begin with, it obviously depends on your individual interest and your preferences, guys. So I think this is all about the NCERT preparation. So guys, I have mainly talked about the Indian polity books, but every subject NCERT is very important. And I think you already have the idea how to read any of the subject, any subject NCERTs, how to read, how to make notes, and how to keep going with it, why these are important. That is something I have already told to you all. All right. So I think all of you have already have a lot of very important information, and I am sure that I was able to clear many of the doubts related to how the NCERT should be referred. So all the best to all of you. All the best to all of you. Don't think that when to start, how to start. Just do the start, right? Just start reading any book. Just start reading any of the book of class 6, any subject, and you will feel that it is the good thing you have just done. All right. I'm hoping for success to all of you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.